I want to know more about the hula hoops and grass skirts. So,
Terrible.
yeah, okay. All right. So before I introduce our speakers, I just want to say I have to leave at about 20 till 1 to go do an honors thesis defense. So Mark is going to close out the meeting, and to our speakers, if you see me get up and leave, it's not you. I just need to be at my students' defense. So we have three speakers joining us today. Avery Christensen is Vice President of Recruitment for Pi Beta Phi, as well as the head of their banner painting committee. She's a sophomore elementary education major with a minor in English for new learners. In addition to the responsibilities in Pi Beta Phi, Avery is on the University of South Dakota dance team, where she is head of social media and marketing, and has served on the Dakota Days Committee as Vice President for Marketing, and is currently serving as Vice President of Royalty. Right. Sophia Jerke is also a member of Pi Beta Phi, serving as the Vice President of Community Relations. She's an elementary education major with a reading minor. And finally, Abby Moore is also a member of Pi Beta Phi. She's the Vice President of Risk Management. She's a sophomore marketing major and currently plans to go to law school after completing her undergraduate education. Abby is president of Pi Sigma Epsilon, the marketing and sales fraternity on campus. So she wanted to give a shout out to Rand Wergen and express how excited she is to meet and share Pi Beta Phi with all of us. So thank you and welcome.
Hello, everyone. First of all, I want to start off by saying thank you for welcoming us this afternoon. We're really excited to get to share with you kind of what Greek life looks like in 2025. We are going to be talking today about what our chapter does, some of the highlights of our chapter, what it means to be a Pi Phi, as well as our philanthropy and service and what we do throughout the community, as well as our recruitment. So we're really excited to get to share that with you today.
All right, and before I start on this, to piggyback off what Rand said, we were the first sorority, but we are not actually a sorority. We're a fraternity for women since we were founded before a sorority, and then we actually didn't start as a Greek organization. We started as IC Sorosis, and then switched to Pi Beta Phi after the first Greek name came out. So these are some of our symbols. So that's our crest. And then our badge is the arrow, and then our main symbol is an angel, because we're all angels. And then our flower is the wine carnation, and our colors are wine and silver blue. And then I'm going to talk about our values. So our two favorites in our chapter are sincere friendship and personal and intellectual growth. And these two are just the easiest to see and apply to our daily lives. So I think that's why a lot of us join Greek life, is to look for those things too. So honor and respect, we symbolize this in our chapter, especially through our ritual and traditions, and just honoring one another and having respect for each other within our organization. And then lifelong commitment, we hold a lot of alumni events, and a lot of our alumni come back for Founders Day, different things during the year, recruitment stuff, Dakota Days, and then we have an alumni advisory committee that oversees our directors and president, just to make sure we're following our rules. And then integrity, we just have integrity through our chapter by upholding and holding each other accountable for our values. And personal and intellectual growth. We do this not only through our academics with holding each other accountable for our grades, but also through our on-campus involvement. Pi Phi is one of the most involved Greek organizations, and we're all over campus. You can find one of us in almost every club. And then sincere friendship, this is our favorite because it's what you think of when you think of a sorority. So we do different sisterhood events, we do different things, just eating dinner together at the house, we're always talking and supporting one another, showing up to each other's clubs or events. Avery cheers, so we go to her games and watch her cheer. And then philanthropic service to others, which Sophie will talk more about.
Awesome. Like I said, or as they introduced me, I'm the Vice President of Community Relations. Community Relations means obviously everything all community related. That includes the USD community as well as the Vermillion community and the entire Pi Phi community as a whole. So our philanthropy is Read, Lead, Achieve. Our initiative is to promote children's literacy, creating a more literate and productive society. I'm not sure if many of you know, but in America we are currently in a literacy crisis. I have a couple statistics that you might find kind of jarring. Currently, 43 million Americans are considered illiterate. The U.S. is ranked 36th in the world for literacy. And Americans aged 16 to 21, out of those, 50% cannot read well enough to be considered functionally literate. So 50% out of 16 to 21. I think that's quite a jarring statistic. But our philanthropy is to try and combat this illiteracy, starting with our children. Obviously, reading is a foundational building block for education. You need to be able to read in order to go through life and go through your education. And so we strive through donating, advocacy, having programs where we are actually directly working with children on literacy programs, which I'm going to talk about that later as well as through our philanthropic efforts like raising money, donating to different funds that we have at the Pi Beta Phi Foundation. Our statistic that is on here as well is that 1 in 4 kids know how to read, and we are trying to create that so all kids know how to read. We really have a video. Unfortunately, I'm not playing for you today, but it's we focus on one kid at a time. We're trying to help one kid at a time to try and combat this epidemic that we are currently in. So what do we do at SD Alpha Pi Beta Phi? We have philanthropy versus service. Philanthropy and service kind of are often grouped together. There is a difference between the two. Philanthropy is more of a monetary kind of way of philanthropy obviously is money, so we have events where we are raising money and donating that money towards certain funds. Pi Phi Sugar High, Line Dancing for Literacy, Pi Phi Bow Tie, those are our 3 philanthropic efforts that we do. So we are raising money and donating those to the Literacy Fund, the Friendship Fund, which are all through Pi Phi. Those go directly to schools, go directly to children to try and combat illiteracy. We also have the Pi Beta Phi Foundation, which is the overarching that all of those kind of fall under. And then we have local impact grants. So a local impact grant is where the money goes directly to a school district or organization in your local area. That is one that I'm currently trying to work on. We have book buddies, champions our readers, our Girl Scout event, book drives and donations. I'm going to talk about those more as we go on, but those are our example of service that we do at SD Alpha chapter. Service is more of a hands-on. Obviously, you guys are very familiar with philanthropy and service. I think you all know what the difference is, but service, you're actually going out, you're doing, you're helping. Pi Phi prides ourselves on volunteering. We try and strive to get as many volunteer hours as we can, offering volunteer hours not only just through Pi Phi, but through other clubs, other various organizations. I'm going to kind of get into each individual thing that we do. So this is Pi Phi Sugar High. We hold this in the fall. This is our fall philanthropy event. So again, we raise money. We usually donate towards either the Literacy or the Friendship Fund. So it's an all-you-can-eat dessert bar. I don't know if you've ever seen it or if you have attended yourself. You are invited, all of you, this fall. We will have it in September. I can even maybe email and send out. They'll let you guys know when we have it. It's an all-you-can-eat dessert bar. We raise money. All the funds go to, again, combating children's illiteracy. Line Dancing for Literacy. This was a new one we started, I think, 2 years ago. We had a line dancing instructor come to Old Lumber Company downtown, and they taught us how to line dance. And again, all the money was raised towards the Friendship. I believe this one was the Friendship Fund. Same thing here, Pi Phi Bow Tie. This is an all-you-can-eat pasta bar. So we have obviously pasta. You can come, you eat as much as you'd like, and the funds again go to combating children's illiteracy. You will find throughout the campus here, each sorority and fraternity has their own philanthropy. If you did not know that, that is one of the core values, the things that kind of unites everyone in a sorority or fraternity is we are trying to work towards something. A lot of people maybe think that sorority and fraternity is just like, oh, fun, we all like each other, we like to dress up. A lot of people think that. There is more to it than that. We are all trying to work towards something, a common goal. Ours is children's literacy and Read, Lead, Achieve, our philanthropy. So these are some of the philanthropic ways that we try and do that. We are really, really special, or I guess blessed, that we get to actually go into the classrooms and see our philanthropy efforts actually at work. A lot of other sororities and fraternities don't necessarily get to do that because some of their philanthropies that they are working towards, they can't go directly and see those efforts in action. And we are really lucky that we get to do that. One of the programs that we started this semester actually is called Book Buddies. So I have over 30 Pi-Phis that go to the elementary school on a weekly basis for at least 30 minutes, and they read with a group of students, 1 to 2. In this group, we have even 5 to 4. It kind of depends on the teacher and the student and what those students need. So these girls are going in and directly working with students. They are going with creating those relationships, helping them learn to read. They're working on reading, writing, spelling, words, all those kinds of things to help these kids learn. I have kids kindergarten through 4th grade. Like I said, over 30 girls going on a weekly basis. They go on their own time. If they have 30 minutes after 1 p.m. on a Wednesday, they go. If they have 2 p.m. on a Friday, they go. They kind of create that with their teacher that they're matched with. I had, the teachers were amazing. They have worked really well with our girls. I personally go and do it actually right after this. I will go at 1:30, and I have three girls that I sit and I work with every single Wednesday. You really get to build those relationships. We had a couple of them actually come to our philanthropy event that we had this last spring, and they brought us all little bracelets that they made for us. So it's really a special thing that we get to actually go and see that our philanthropy that we have worked so hard to raise all this money for, not only are we raising money, but we are actually actively working to try and help with this problem. Another thing that we do is called Champions Our Readers. So this is kind of the same thing, except it's a more structured, research-based program. So Champions Our Readers was created through the Pi Beta Phi Foundation, and they use research-based curriculum to help develop actual lesson plans and programs that you would implement using research that helps to promote children's literacy. So I actually am the one who facilitated this, so I would use my guidebooks and the lesson plans that Pi Beta Phi Foundation provided for me, and I would create lessons. You can see in some of these pictures, we had a chef hat. They all got little chef hats, and then they wrote a recipe, and they each got a book as well as some fun little goodies that were donated from Pi-Phi as well. The girls absolutely loved it, getting to go and work with. We did a kindergarten classroom this year. Mrs. Smith, she's kindergarten at the elementary school, and it was wonderful to get to work with her in her class. We really got to create those relationships with these kids, and they went home and they told their parents and their older siblings. They're like, the Pi-Phis came today. They came and worked with us. So we really, really enjoyed getting to do that and getting to create those relationships with those students. We did that through the entire month of February and March this year. So it was a total of 7 times that we went and visited with them once a week for an hour. Again, this is a really unique opportunity that a lot of sororities and fraternities don't get to do. We get to actively go into the classrooms and work with these students, and that's really, really special. Our next thing that we did this last semester was our Girl Scout event. So we had several troops come to our house this early March. It was National Read Across America Day, as well as Dr. Seuss's birthday. I'm not sure if you all celebrate that, but if you don't, you should. It's a pretty special day. The Girl Scouts loved it. Like I said, we had several troops. They were, I think our oldest was about 2nd grade, so we had kindergarten through 2nd grade. They came, they got to read Dr. Seuss books, they had Dr. Seuss snacks, they got to do Dr. Seuss crafts, and they got to work with us, Pi-Phis. They got to kind of see those role models. I actually remember doing something similar when I was this age, and now I am a Pi-Phi, so it was kind of cool. Maybe we had some future Pi-Phis in there. It was a really awesome opportunity. Not only did the girls and the Girl Scouts enjoy it, but the moms actually enjoyed it a lot because they got to sell the rest of their Girl Scout cookies. So it was a really great opportunity for everyone involved, and we had a lot of fun with it. We're hoping to do another one this fall, actually. Finally, we have book drives and donations. We just recently did a book drive this last spring as well, and actually, I'm not sure if any of you know about Dakotathon. They raise money for Children's Miracle Network. They're having their day of event this Saturday, and we are donating all the books that we raised during this book drive to go towards the children of the Children's Miracle Network. So, and I'm going to pass it over to Avery to talk about recruitment.
Hello. So in order to have a bunch of girls that are super committed to our philanthropy, we have to recruit them to join our sorority. Something that I would love to note is that Pi Beta Phi, we are a national sorority, so we have chapters in every single state, which is super awesome. And we have over 300,000 women that are a part of Pi Beta Phi, and that includes, those who are no longer with us. So our legacy really extends very far, and that is something that we really love about our sorority. Recruitment, if those of you who drive past Greek Row in the summer right before school starts, you may hear some chanting or yelling, and that's how we kind of prepare, but recruitment is much, much more than that. And something that I love about recruitment is that it's a process that really connects all Greek women together, because it's not just a process that's particular to one sorority or the other, but all the rounds are the same. We kind of do similar things, and so that's what I really love about it. And then from there, women choose where they feel they best fit. For example, my mother was in a sorority, and she talked about growing up how much she loved it, and just how much of an impact it had made on her life and her opportunity to be a leader within her university. And so it's something I knew I wanted to do when I came to school. And getting to go through the process really connected me to her. I called her every single night, and we would kind of discuss the difference in her process versus my process and things like that. And so it's something we've really been able to connect to with each other, and that's been super, super special. But there's also a lot of women that come through our process that have never been in Greek life before and have no idea what it is. And we love those women too. And we try to make sure they have, the best process possible, because it can be scary and daunting to go talk to a bunch of new people that you don't know. And so we try to make it as easy as possible for them, and they're kind of paving the way for themselves to join Greek life and take advantage of all the opportunities that it can provide us with, which is super exciting. For recruitment, there are two processes. One of those processes, which most women choose to go through, is our primary recruitment process, which happens in the fall. This week it'll be over Labor Day weekend, so the women will stay, kind of get a house tour of each house, which I'll talk about later, and that is how they'll decide which sorority is best for them. After that, we have two different events that we put together as sororities for women to join who decided not to go through our primary recruitment process, and that's called COB events. COB stands for Continuous Open Bidding. So, for example, Pi Beta Phi this semester, I hosted I called it the Pi Beta Phi Soda Shop, and they came to the house and they made sodas, and they added like grenadine to make Shirley Temples or things like that. And we just talked, and it was kind of like a little sisterhood event, and we gave them a tour of our house and things like that. And from that, we were able to get 5 new girls to join our sorority, which was super, super exciting. And so they're initiated now, and they're members, and they'll be recruiting girls to join our sorority in the fall, which is really exciting for them. Pi Beta Phi the past 2 years has had the largest pledge class from primary recruitment. We typically get about 40 women in our pledge class, which, as I mentioned, is the largest pledge class that you'll probably see here at the University of South Dakota. This past year, we had record numbers for women that signed up to do primary recruitment. It was about 175 women, is that correct? That decided to kind of take that leap and go through the process of finding a home that felt like their best fit. So that was super, super exciting. And from that, we welcomed about 40 new members to Pi Beta Phi, which was super exciting. This year at the Greek Awards, we also won many, many awards. We were awarded Sorority of the Year, which was really exciting for us. It was super awesome, and I feel like it has kind of been something that's shown that we put a lot of effort and work into our sorority and making sure that we are committed to our philanthropy and we're doing things that are beneficial to the community. So that was really exciting for us. We were also recognized as a 5-star chapter. This January, Sophia and I had the opportunity to go to College Weekend, where we were connected with 800 collegians and alumni. So that was super exciting. And in that, I got to learn more about recruitment. Sophia got to learn more about philanthropy and branding and image and all that kind of stuff. And that was really fun and exciting for us. Our main goal with recruitment is just to recruit women better than us, recruit women that are just as excited about leadership opportunity as we are, recruit women who are committed to our philanthropy and committed to helping us raise funds in an effort to, stop illiteracy. During the fall, we host a work week, and this happens the week before school starts, and that's where I said if you drive past Greek Row that week, you will definitely hear chanting from all the sororities and screaming, but it's a really fun time, and that's kind of a time where we get to practice what recruitment's going to look like for us. So we practice each round every day, and then we do a lot of sisterhood and bonding events during that week, and that, I would say, is the week where most women kind of find their best friends, because we spend so much time with each other, like 7 hours a day with each other, just talking to each other, and that is really, really fun for us, and then it makes living in the house that much more exciting. This year I'm super excited to announce that we will be doing our first Rush the Alumni event, where the alum of Pi Beta Phi will come to our house on Thursday, and they will pretend to be our PNMs. A PNM stands for Potential New Member, and then our girls will practice recruiting them by giving them a house tour of the house. We think this is a really great way to go back to our value of lifelong commitment, making sure we're keeping alumni engaged in what we're doing, but also a lot of the alumni that will be coming have not seen the house in so long, so it'll be a great way for them to kind of see the house, see what updates we've done, just see what it looks like, hopefully bring back some memories for them. We're really excited to host that event. And then later we are hoping to go to the brewery that's downtown. One of the Pi Beta Phi alum owns the brewery. She's an owner, and we're going to have a panel. People will give advice and kind of just talk to them about, leadership opportunity on campus and things like that. So we are very, very excited. And then the rounds of recruitment, there are 3 rounds. USD's version of recruitment is much more shortened than a lot of other campuses, which makes Greek life so much more accessible to women, which I really love. So the first day will be a house tour and philanthropy round. So the women will go to each house, see what their house looks like, see what their house has to offer, and then we will teach them about our philanthropy, and we will ask the girls to kind of share their literacy experience with their PNM, just so PNMs feel like they can connect to our philanthropy a little bit more. Because sometimes it can be hard to think of like, wait, why do I connect to reading? And so we like to kind of give them our story so they feel like they have a little bit more of a connection. And then we go to the next round, which is sisterhood and finance. We'll talk to them about, what our sisterhood is. We'll talk to them about our leadership opportunities, role models we found within our chapter, and then we will talk to them about the financial piece of being in a sorority. And then the last round is pref night, and that is when girls will choose which sorority they ultimately would like to be a part of. And then that leads into bid day. Bid day, we put the PNM's name on a little poster and they run to the house, and that's how they find out what sorority they're in. And it's really cheesy and corny, lots of jumping around, screaming, excitement, but it's so fun to welcome all those women to our chapter. And then from there, we just start the year and start building and start getting them excited about our philanthropic efforts, and we start everything, and it's so exciting. So that's just a little bit about the recruitment process and what that looks like. That's us at the Greek Awards with our Sorority of the Year Award and our 5-star Greek Chapter Award as well. Is there any questions? Yes?
Of the members, how many live in the house?
Typically about 50 members live in the house, so 50 women in one house. And if you've driven past Greek Road, they're not terribly big houses, I wouldn't say from the outside, but in the inside, like, we all have enough room. We love living in the house. It's so much fun. It's like your best friends are living right down the hall from you. You don't even have to leave the house. It's so awesome. So yeah, 50 women live in the house typically. Yeah.
Well, with 50 women in the house, knowing this, they're all poor, starving, how do you maintain the infrastructure of the house?
Yeah, so we have a chapter housing corporation that kind of oversees the house. So they're separate from our alumni advisory committee, and they work with all things house. So they'll come in the summer and they'll do like a walkthrough, and they'll decide what needs updates, what we can do better. So for example, last summer our whole house got repainted. We also did, previous to this year, have a bat problem. Bats would come in our house because our house is over 100 years old. And so what they did is they came in and they paid for some sort of service so that bats would stop coming in our house, which has worked. We have not had a problem with that since. We got a new water softening system, and that's really all due to the dues that we pay to be a member. that they keep our house nice and ready to go for us. We have a chef who cooks our meals. Her name is Amy. She's really, really awesome, and she's just great. So due to those dues that we pay, the Chapter Housing Corporation works with us to make accommodations, do any updates that are necessary to keep our house going. Any other questions? Yeah.
All three of you are super awesome representatives of the organization and the university generally. Could you just share with us what your hometown is? We're always interested in
Yeah.
knowing where you come from.
I'm from Omaha, Nebraska.
I am actually from Vermillion, so I am local.
Is your dad here?
Yeah.
I'm from Sioux Falls. So
Yeah, so kind of in this general area.
not far.
Yeah. Any other questions we can answer for you guys? Yeah.
Do you still have the arrow up on the third floor outside to try to tempt fraternity?
We are actually missing it. It's been stolen. If you have it, you can return it.
Do you know anything about that?
How many roommates? I mean, you've got several different rooms. How many women in one confined space?
Our largest room is 8 people, which is a lot. But then we also have rooms that are only for 2 people. So then we also have a 6-man as well. So 6 women live in that room. And then we have 4-mans and we have 3-mans. So kind of a wide variety. We only have 1 8-man and 1 6-man. But I know it seems kind of crazy, like how do 8 women live in the same room together? But you're living with your best friend, so you find a way to make it work, and it's really, there's no other experience like it, you know. It's so special, and we really love and value our time living in the house. Yeah.
I gotta ask, 50 women in the same house, how many bathrooms are there in this place?
Probably less than you would think, honestly. So we have 3 bathrooms in our house. We have about, 6 showers, and I don't know, are you interested in how many toilets are in our house? I don't know. So yeah, probably less than you would think, but everybody has their own schedule, so it all ends up working out.
Abby's a sophomore,
I'm a sophomore as well.
And I'm a sophomore as well.
So far you're 2 years into it, tail end of your second year.
Yeah.
What's your favorite high-five memory?
My favorite Pi-Fi memory was work week and recruitment this past year. It's what got me feeling really passionate about Pi Beta Phi, because when we sit in the same room and all talk about our common goals and things that we really, want our chapter to strive for, it just makes you feel really empowered. And that's the reason I'm standing up here today doing this, role for my chapter, is just because I'm so passionate about what recruitment can do for our chapter and the women that we get to meet because of it. So.
I would say for me personally, probably the Champions Are Readers event that we did during February and March. I want to be a teacher, so it was like kind of practice for me, but really truly seeing the impact that we had, even just going for an hour once a week on those kids was incredible. Like, they remembered us, they loved us, they came to our events, they supported us even when we went and helped them, and it was just, it's just, you can't even describe how wonderful it was.
I probably also really like Car. My little girl would cry when I had to leave, and she'd give me a big hug. And I see her when I go for my book buddies, I always see her going out to recess, so I get a quick little hug, and it's super cute. And I don't even like kids, so.
Yes.
Will you stay in the house all for a year, for 2 years, or 3 years?
Most women typically live in the chapter. There's in the chapter house their sophomore and junior year, and then due to our positions, we do have positions that are required to live in the house. So our president, who's a junior right now, will be a senior next year, and she'll live in the house next year due to the fact that she is president of our chapter. But most women will live in for 2 years. Yeah. Anything else we can answer?
I'll ask a plumbing question. How do you keep all 50 women's worth of hair out of the drains for the shower? That's got to be amazing.
We have a wonderful cleaner that we pay for to come to the house and clean our stuff, and it's really amazing, and we love her as well. Her name is Christine.
I think laundry is probably more of the problem we would have. We only have 2 washers and 2 dryers, so you can imagine how that works with 50 women.
Yeah,
you know.
it's a lot.
So.
Beautiful problems to have.
Yeah, yes. Any questions about like our philanthropy, service, or our values or anything that we talked about?
Do you have any more events yet this year, or are you kind of wrapped up for the?
Yes, we have in the fall, I said that Pi-Fi Sugar, or I guess the rest of the semester you were saying? No, we don't really have anything the rest of the semester. Like I said, we're doing that donation at the Dakota Fund Day on Saturday, but for the rest of this semester we don't, just because we only have about a week and a half left. But yeah, that's a great question. Thank you.
How do you promote that? Because there was things you mentioned, and I feel like I'm pretty in tune with what's going on in the community, but I didn't know about those. So just wondering how you...
Yeah, I mean, our social media, we try and promote things on there as much as possible. We've really worked on our brand, our image, and our social media. I mean, especially with the campus community, one of my goals recently has been trying to extend that to like the Vermillion community as well. We had our Pi-Phi bow tie. We featured it in the VCDC. We try and get things out in like the Coyote News as much as possible, but like we really do use our social media a lot, so that's one way that we really try and promote that. So.
Any other questions? Good job. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you all.
Well, our thank yous to the ladies from Pi Beta Phi. Sounds like a very interesting thing. I didn't know a lot about fraternities and sororities when I went off to college, but it sounds like you do a lot of wonderful things. Hopefully when you are finished with your college life, then you'll continue to do great service. Maybe find a Rotary Club to belong to. Huh? Also would like to thank our guests for coming today, Kent and Camille, Raina and Darren. And, oh, we need to do our 50-50 draw.
Oh, sure. Try again.
The holder of the cup cannot be done.
Scott Wing.
Scott Wang.
He's not here.
Not here. All right. Thank you. I'll pay you $5. Again, remember Bike Helmet Day this Friday, so everybody come for that, 1:30. Any other final announcements? Please join us.